Yo, what is going on, guys? Man, it's your boy Trey Hefner, and I just want to say we getting a lot of content soon, man. Now, I don't know if y'all seen everything already, but this video is kind of going to be a recap of what I've already seen and kind of just giving my opinion. Now, a lot of this information is coming from Mr. KF himself. Now, you can find him down in my description on Twitter and on YouTube to see a lot more of his leaks and his data mines. Now, to jump headfirst into everything, not only will we be getting a lot of content soon, but I just want to give a disclaimer that this stuff is not guaranteed to be dropped all at once, but instead we might be getting it in waves. We don't have dates and we don't have prices for a lot of the content that might be releasing, so just make sure that we put that out there first because a lot of this shit is always subject to change. Now, starting on the side of cosmetics, we're told that we get a new Leatherface skin called the Nicoretto skin, which is inspired by Greg Nicoretto, who is a very popular makeup artist who's worked on projects like Evil Dead, The Walking Dead, and even a couple Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. With this skin, as you can see, we also have a new variation of the chainsaw, which, in my opinion, I think it opens the door for a lot of DLC content, in a sense, maybe even expressing that we might get weapon skins in the near future. The next round of cosmetics isn't for only the big man Bubba himself, but also for the rest of the family members. Now we'll be getting bloody killer skins for every family member, which I believe is cool, but then again, once you execute a victim, doesn't your skin already apply a blood to itself, like a blood type of effect? So to me, I'm not really seeing a point of buying a skin that you could basically obtain for free after executing somebody in game. I could be wrong, but I hope that the blood that you see after an execution is totally different than the blood that you see when you buy the skin, meaning that I don't want the blood patterns to look the same. Or, I mean, maybe even make the skin itself more gorier, if that makes sense. Give it more texture, different blood patterns, tattered clothes, I mean, things of that nature. Without the skin being much of a difference from what you see in game, I'm not quite sure how the first round of cosmetics is going to sit well with the community. Now, we also have leaks expressing that we'll be getting a new family member and a new survivor as well. And from what I heard, I really like them both. Let's start with Black Nancy, who claims she's Johnny's aunt from her backstory, but it does express that Nancy killed Johnny's mother, took him in, and turned him into the killer he is today. Damn. Thanks, Nancy. Appreciate it. Also coming with this release is the Junkyard map, which is going to be like Nancy's house, but we're going to start to see that Nancy is actually a bigger part of the Sawyer family tree than we thought. Now, in the data mine, we can see that Nancy taking Johnny in can actually be confirmed at the fact that there are a couple rooms on this map that actually belong to Johnny himself. And coming with this map is an Easter egg that we tend to miss every time we load up Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When we queue in the game, we always hear a radio news reporter talk about missing college students and stuff like that, and one of them going by the name of Maria Flores. Now, with this data mine coming from Nancy and her map, we have a textured model of Maria Flores hanging from her restraints, meaning that Johnny and or Nancy could be the true killers and the reason that the rest of the young adults are even out this way, considering Maria is Anna's sister. Now, I can only imagine the Easter eggs and voice lines that may be coming from characters once they see their friend hanging from restraints in Nancy's guest room. To talk about Nancy and her abilities, Nancy will be wielding an oddly shaped hammer that is flat, kind of blunt on one side, and a sharp claw fork-like shape on the other. Now, I'm not going to post any much gameplay or any video content really, because that might be the reason why a lot of creator videos are being taken down, so that's my apologies. But I kind of just want to explain the best that I can so you guys can get a visual. Now, with Nancy and her ultimate is kind of like Raven Baxter from the That's So Raven show, where she can see into the future. Well, I mean, more like see into the eyes of the closest victim and kind of get an obscure photo of where that said victim might be hiding. While I don't like the sound of that, I would actually like to see how that's going to get played out in game when we get there. As well, Nancy has traps like Hitchhiker, except I believe these are far more dangerous. Nancy has these barbed wire spiderweb things that are fixed on the door frames with locks. Nancy can use this trap on doorways and on cracks in the walls, and if you run into one, you will of course take a tick of damage, but that barbed wire will be wrapped around your leg, making you make noise. In my opinion, I think the noise making part is probably the least of your worries. I can only imagine that if you have this barbed wire wrapped around your ankle, you could potentially walk slower, right? The more you walk, the more damage you take. I mean, it is barbed wire. It could be possible that you might even get a bleed damage on your character. And as well, I believe you won't be able to get this trap off your ankle unless you have a lockpick. While these are my opinions and my speculations, I want to give you the worst possible outcome to think about so when she does come, we can already somewhat be prepared and it's not really too much of a shock. Last but certainly not least, we'll be getting a new victim by the name of Danny. I certainly don't care much about his bio or his upbringing, but reading his bio actually gave me a greater look into what we can expect from a character like this. Danny's ingenuity allows him to quickly examine and study environmental objects. This will increase his overall knowledge of those items and help him get a better understanding of how they work. But this takes time, and if Danny is interrupted during the process, he'll have to start over again. Now, Danny can study multiple objects in the environment such as generators, cattle grids, cables, TVs, radios, lamps, valve pipes, pressure valve tanks, gates, fuse boards, fuse boxes, and mechanical doors. Once the object is studied, Danny can use the information to tamper with any of the key objects linked to escape exits, therefore unlocking it for good. That means that Danny can tamper with and permanently open or activate fuse boxes, pressure valve tanks, and generators. This will keep the family from undoing your team's hard work. In addition, the more Danny uses his ability, the better it will become, unlocking new benefits and possibilities along the way. I don't know how this is going to play into the gameplay mechanics, but it sounds to me like Danny might be a male version of Connie for the people who like to escape the pressure valve and fuse box exits. With the fuse box exits and stuff like that being a last resort for a lot of survivors, I think this will be a vital victim to have on your team, as it brings a lot of versatility as the way you'll be escaping now. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, those are my opinions, and it's also a recap if you did not know any of these things. I just got this Danny information yesterday. We have a lot of information on Nancy and her new map and everything like that, but when it comes to Danny, he's still a Mysterio, right? He's still mysterious, he's an enigma. We don't really know how he's gonna play into game until we got that bio, man. That bio was really, really big, but without having the gameplay or not really knowing what his ability is, it's very hard to get a visual on what is possible with him coming into game, man. So I think that this is really, really, really gonna be a nice game once they start getting this content in here, man. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see them bring into this game, or what's maybe a mechanic they might fix, man.